Hello, welcome friends. Welcome to the course of Instrumentation System. Here we are discussing the temperature sensor. So temperature sensor, in today's session we are going to discuss about the thermocouples, its types, working styles, advantages, disadvantages and applications. Then we will talk about the pyrometers, again their types, working, advantages, disadvantages and applications. So now start from the thermocouple. So thermocouples are basically formed when two dissimilar metals are joined together to form a junction. And joining together the other end of dissimilar metals to form a second junction that completes an electric circuit. So a current will flow in the circuit if the two junctions are at different temperatures. And current is the result of the difference in electromotive force developed at the two junctions due to their temperature difference. This first junction, that here you can see this is a measuring junction. It is also known as a hot junction, and connection points. These two connection points are called reference or also known as a cold junction. So okay, reference junction, and this is a constant temperature enclosures. The thermocouples are used to measure the temperature differences. And two different metals, here you can see two different metals indicated as aluminum and chromal. Okay, so this is a measuring junctions. Again, the voltage difference between the two junctions is measured, and this difference is proportional to the temperature difference between the two junctions. Also note that thermocouples only can be used to measure the temperature differences only. And if one junction is held at a reference temperature, then the voltage between the thermocouple junction gives a measurement of temperature of the second junction, as shown in this figure. As you can see, and there is an alternative, one more method is to measure the temperature of the reference junction and apply a correction to the output signal. So here the correction is applied with the help of this one, like signal conditioning circuitries. And this method will eliminate the need of constant temperature enclosure. Whatever the constant temperature enclosure is required over here, this get eliminates over here. Okay, these are the basically two different methods to measure the temperature using the two different junctions. Okay, now let's take a look how basically does it work. So measuring junction is heated and small DC voltage is generally generated in thermocouple wires, that is in millivolts, and thermocouple will convert the thermal energy into electrical energy. So thermocouple only generates a millivoltage signal when there is a temperature difference between the hot and cold junctions. So cold junction usually set to 320 Fahrenheit, that is 0 degrees Celsius. In order to measure the temperature using a thermocouple, you can't just connect a thermocouple to a measurement system like a voltmeter. The voltage measured by your system is basically, is proportional to the temperature difference between the primary junction, that is hot junction, and the junction where the voltage is being measured, that is a reference junction. So here you can see, to determine or to measure the temperature, so absolute temperature at the cold and hot junction is being measured. Then you need to know the temperature at the reference junction. And how basically you are going to determine the temperature at the reference junction? You can measure it in between by connecting a voltmeter after all. Okay. So difference between the hot junction and cold junction is given as the voltage difference at the output terminals, which is always in millivolts. Let's take one more method. So thermocouple measure the voltage difference between the 2 points, as we know. So to know the absolute temperature at the hot junction, one must know the temperature at the reference junction. So in order to know the temperature at the reference junctions, this is the method which is used. As you can see in the diagram, the type J thermocouple is used. It's having a metals of iron and constant, and the junction is made up of these two metals, and this connecting two dissimilar metals are connected. This is the unknown temperature. In order to know this temperature, just compare with the reference junction using the Icebarth reference technique. And these are two out. The voltage difference is generated and being measured with the help of voltmeter over here. So thermocouple measure the voltage difference. Basically, The niche thermocouple reference table means here you can see as the two different metals like iron and constantan were used to design the J-type thermocouples. In such a way, the different types of metals are used for designing a different type of thermocouples. So here you can see always also we can see that there are you need to undergo a niche thermocouple reference table, and we have to observe what amount of voltages are being generated for that particular type of thermocouples, like it is a J-type thermocouple, K-type thermocouples or other ways, and you can calculate the what amount of voltage can be measured at the output of this thermocouple by using the equation V measured equal to V hot junction minus V voltage at reference junctions. So all these hot junction and reference junctions temperatures are given in the niche thermocouple reference tables. So V hot is always equal to V measure plus V reference. So if you want to calculate the hot junction voltage, okay, and if you know the voltage temperature relationship of our thermocouple, then you could determine the temperature at the hot junction as well. So there are basically three effects are associated with the thermocouples. The Seebeck effect, which states that the voltage produced in the thermocouple is basically a proportional to the temperature difference between the two junctions. Okay, and another effect involved in thermocouple is the Peltier effect, which states that if a current flows through a thermocouple, then one junction is heated and other junction is cooled. That is, one outputs the energy and another absorbs the energy. So Seebeck effect and Peltier effect. One more effect is there, that is a Thomson effect. And this states that when a current flows in a conductor along with there is a temperature difference, so heat is produced or absorbed, and depending upon the direction of the current and variation of the temperature, then heat is produced and absorbed. So depending upon the direction of the current and variation of the temperature, that is very important. But in practice, the Seebeck voltage is basically a sum of electromotive forces generated by the Peltier's and Thomson effects. So there are a number of laws being observed in thermocouple circuits, like law of intermediate temperatures, which states that the thermocouple effect depends only on the temperature of the junction and is not affected by the temperature along the leaves. There is another law is also there, that is law of intermediate metals, and which also states that metals other than those making up the thermocouple can be used in the circuit as long as the junctions are the same temperatures. So other metals can also be used for interconnection. Okay, so here you can see this table is the differential output voltages for different type of thermocouples, which is available from the manufacturers. So here you can see in the table is list of thermocouple materials and their Seebeck coefficient and range. So copper constant like T type of thermocouples, the range is minus 140 to 400 degrees Celsius. That Seebeck coefficient is 40. Chromolines constant type E type of thermocouple 180 to 1000 degrees Celsius. Then for iron constant, that is J type of thermocouple, the range is 30 degrees Celsius to 900 degrees Celsius, and Seebeck coefficient is 51 microvolt per degree Celsius. Similarly for K type, N type, S type, R type thermocouple and their respective range, measuring range and Seebeck coefficients are given. Basically there are three types of thermocouples: insulated wire, ceramic beaded and metal sheet. So this is an insulated wire thermocouple construction. Here you can see. Then ceramic beaded. So this same type of thermocouple can be insulated with the ceramic beads. Okay, so here you can see. So that measuring range is also increased, and this type of thermocouples are basically most widely used in medical industries. Then metal sheet. So here you can see the metal sheet is coated over the insulating sheet. Then two conductors or thermocouples are there. So these are three different styles in which the thermocouples are available in the market. Let's see the different advantages and disadvantages of thermocouples. So thermocouples are simple and rushed, high temperature operations, they are low cost, no resistance lead wire problems are there, point temperature sensing, fastest response to temperature changes. Disadvantages are they are least stable, low sensitivity to small temperature changes, then extension wire must be of the same thermocouple type, then wire may pick up radiated electrical noise of not shielded, and lowest accuracies. So these are certain thermocouple applications. It is used in cement industries, glass industries, for hot temperature measurement, R&D industries for research work, then nuclear industries, power industries, OEM, that is original equipment manufacturing industries like automotive applications. Then pharmaceutical industries are there, as I said, so we can use the ceramic beaded in these applications. Then chemical and fertilizer industries, steel industries, non-ferrous industries, petrochemical industries. It is also used in heavy-duty thermocouple assemblies for rotary cement kilns, thread installations, then flange installations, thermocouple assemblies for industrial application likewise. So these are also available in this form in industries as you see. Let's take a look of pyrometers. Basically, the pyrometers are used for temperature measurement as well. So radiation can be used to sense the temperature by using devices called pyrometers. So with thermocouples or thermopiles can also be used as a sensing element, or you can use a color comparison devices as well. So pyrometers are available in portable format and have a response time of few milliseconds. So, and thermopiles is also one of the another type of pyrometers. So thermopile is a number of thermocouples which are connected in series, which increases the sensitivity and accuracy by increasing the output voltage when measuring the low temperature differences. So here you can see different junctions are formed. That means there are different type of thermocouples are connected in series, or number of thermocouples are interconnected to form a pyrometer. That to parameter means a thermopile. Okay. So each of these reference junctions in the thermopile is basically returned to a common reference temperature. Basically, the radiation pyrometer measures temperature by sensing the heat radiated from the hot body through a fixed lens. So here you can see a basic block of radiation pyrometer, and as I said, it sends the temperature by sensing the heat radiated from the hot body through a fixed lens. These are the fixed lens. Okay, and which focuses the heat energy on the thermopile. It will focus is the on the thermopile. Okay, so this is also known as a non-contact type of device. For instance, the furnace temperatures are normally measured through a small hole in the furnace wall, and distance from the source to pyrometer can be fixed, and the radiation should fill the field of view of the sensor. So here you can see the focusing lens and thermocouple setup is there, and you can measure the temperature using temperature display. Okay, and using thermopile as a detector. So here you can use the thermopile as a detector. These mirror adjustments can be taken place in order to gather whatever amount of heat energy is radiated and being collected and transmitted over the detectors. Okay. Then optical type pyrometers. So optical pyrometers basically compare the incident radiations to the radiation from the internal filament. So reference radiations are generated with internal filaments, and current through the filament is then adjusted until the radiation colors match. So current then can be directly related to the temperature of the radiation source. So this can be considered as a reference temperature lamp. The radiations of both, that radiations coming from the temperature source or hot object, and radiations of these are being compared. Okay, so and you can you can eye you can observe it with a human eye as well, the comparison between both of these, and whatever amount of energy or radiation difference is generated, that is being given to the circuitaries. Okay, so it can be measured with a current multimeters. Okay, so optical parameter can also be used to measure the temperatures basically from 1100 degrees Celsius to 2800 degrees Celsius, and here you can see how this assembly being implemented in industrial purpose in this format. Okay, so these are all these parameters are available in this form. Let's take a look on some of the advantages of this type of pyrometers. So it can measure the temperature of the object without any contact. They are non-contact type of devices. It has a fast response time, good stability while measuring the temperature of the object. It can measure the different types of objects' temperature at variable distances. Then we talk about the disadvantages. So disadvantages are pyrometers are generally rugged and expensive. And accuracy of the device can be affected due to the different conditions like the smoke and thermal radiations. What are the different applications? See, to measure the temperature of the moving objects or constant objects from a greater distance. Then in meteorology, hot air balloons to measure the heat at the top of the balloon, hot air steam boilers to measure the steam temperature, measure the temperature of the liquid metals and highly heated materials, measure furnace temperature, etc. So thanks for watching today's sessions. We will be discussing more about temperature sensor signal conditioning in the next sessions. Thank you so much.